everyone. This right here, right now, is the joy of being a live stream, coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. And folks, today being a very special holiday here in the States, if that's where you are, or if that's where you're not, we're going to do a pretty quick and brief but exciting meditation, and then we're going to call it a day. I'm going to get back to all the festivities, which include doing work. Okay, folks, welcome. Great to see everybody. We have entered the stream. Welcome, folks. It's funny because my chat is still left over from yesterday, so I'm like, wait, are these from yesterday? Excellent, folks. Glad to see you here. Let me know where folks are coming from, and we're going to jump into the meditation in just a second. So as you're typing where you are, where you're coming from, I'm going to be giving you info on the meditation itself. If you're new to meditation, let me know that too, because I will... That's the sound of our couch. That loud. Isn't that funny? We have a couch that's that loud. It's not like a thing you think about when you're like, oh, these couches are lovely. How loud are they? Yeah, we got these leather couches as a gift, and they're like sonically explosive. Jean joining us from Brooklyn. Uh-oh, I got foamed. Welcome, folks. Very happy to be here today. I'm going to do a little experimental meditation. In fact, if you have, in this short time, if people know what's up here, who gives couches as a gift? People at weddings. I mean, we said we needed couches, so that was one of the things. We got a great deal. Man, did we get a great deal. So it's a little messy, but I think I can show you. Let's put on the doggy cam, which there's no doggy, but this gives our wide angle lens here. And I can show you, yeah, so these are the couches. Two of these. These couches are like $2,500 or like $3,000 each. They're old-timey, like scroll, like that's a chair in the way, by the way. And we got this deal where somebody, whatever, they were two of them for $500. Oh my God, you can't even see it. I didn't even transition over. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I forgot to hit the transition button. So these guys, these are mucho expensive couches, and we got a deal where someone was selling two for $500 if we took them out of their home. So we have these two couches that are like really decadent. They're sort of a little over the top, but they're great. They're really fun. Good morning from Kingston, Ontario. Great to see you here. It's so funny. So I was like, I have all this stuff to do, like Thanksgiving stuff, whatever. And so I'm like, okay, super short stream. And as soon as I get on the stream, I'm like, oh my God, I want to like talk to you guys and hang out. So, and also, I think we might have an active doggy cam situation here. Let's see if we can get this puppy on the road. Here we go. Scooch this sucker over here. Uh-oh, wrong spot. Let's get this here. And why isn't it? Wait. Oh, I see. Okay, that's the problem. There we go. Doggy cam. What is it, Sela? What is it? Oh, doggy cam. Exactly. Brian, good morning from New Orleans. Wonderful. We have another person from the States. How did people who are here in the States, how did your Thanksgiving go? If you did that kind of thing. We had a really nice one. Raquel and I made we truly made enough turkey for food for like a full family. We're just doing that, and we had this turkey that I deboned and we brined, and I'm trying to show in space how big it was, but it was even as a deboned sort of casserole looking thing, it's big, and we had one slice as thick as my hand, and we're total, and the whole rest is there, and we're like, oh man, we literally couldn't eat this if we tried. So that's that. Cramming in the last hours of work for the week in Karlstad, Sweden. Nice. Okay, here, a little more doggy cam before we begin. Yeah, get it, Celia, get it, come on. Yeah, get it. We can do National Geographic style. Go for it, Celia. Get in there. Okay, folks, so let's meditate here. Any other requests for the meditation? I have some ideas of things I want to do, but of course, our usual schema is where people can request things. We skipped straight to turkey sandwiches. Nice. That is a good system. Is just skip the middleman, go right to the reruns. Okay, so folks, I'm actually glad folks are here. I was convinced no one would be here, and I would do the stream, and it would just be like me alone, being like, all right, well, let's spend a bunch of time talking to a camera with no one here. So very glad folks are here. Very glad. I was like, I could just not do it, and I was like, I'm not going to do that to the stream. Just, you know, if ever there's no stream and I'm not here, it's because I joined a small tribe in a undeveloped country, and I've given up on life. No, I'm just kidding. It means that something went wrong, or I have some obligation I could not otherwise switch. And if you are unsure and you're like, what the hell just happened? Is there no stream? Check on Discord, and our Discord will try to have an announcement as fast as possible. There is our Discord. And Tomalin, if you're here with us, just double check that link is working, because someone gave a complaint. So folks, let's meditate. I want to meditate. So there's something that's been happening while I've been sleeping, which is around metabolizing emotion, which has been really exciting. And of course it's similar or parallel to some of the stuff we've been doing for a while here, related to feeling whatever emotion is arising, feeling it everywhere, and then that feeling very liberating. What I've been noticing while I've been sleeping is that a thought will trigger an emotion in the body, and then the emotion will be sort of afflictive until I can sort of feel it everywhere. So that's one aspect of it. But the other thing I wanted to get into was just gratitude. Gratitude is such a lovely practice. So I think the primary practice is going to be gratitude and just saying thank you and noticing if the emotional experience of gratitude is arising. If all it needs to do to arise is for us to be honest when we say thank you. So I'll explain the technique. I usually don't do that, but we're going to be saying thank you. So right now, just go ahead and say thank you to whatever is happening. Thank you for the experience of seeing. Thank you. Thank you. And if we don't mean it, it's just some words. It's just like blah blah. I watched a video of like an Italian pop song. I'll try to find it, but it was supposed to sound like English, and it was a joke on like how Italian people liked songs that sounded like English, but it was just gibberish. It sounded a lot like English, and if you just search that, I'm sure you'll find it. But the point is, so it just sounds like it's just words in our mind if we don't mean it. But if we mean it, even a little bit, just slightly, just mean what we're saying. Thank you. That kind courtesy, that is enough. And that's actually, we don't want to do more than that. So just the kindness when we mean it, and we're tuning into what occurs when we mean it. What's that sensation? What is the emotion like? And that'll be the process that we're going to go through. And we're going to do it for all sorts of stuff, including any challenging emotions that are arising. So because I've been dealing, or my body mind has been sort of processing challenging emotions while I'm asleep, I want to include that here because I just want to continue the practice that I'm doing, and it doesn't have to be. If you have no challenging emotions, don't worry about it. So whatever is arising, you can just say thank you to. And at our last stream, you may know that I talked about challenging emotions being, they don't have to be really intense. They can just be like a little bitter. And any clinging, any like wanting this moment to be different in any way whatsoever is an example of what I might call a challenging emotion, or something that is experienced by the body mind as unpleasant in some way. So with that, I'm going to guide the meditation like this the entire time, just whispering. No, I'm just kidding. So finding a nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. We'll be practicing for 25 minutes. If that sounds crazy to you, trust me, you can do it. And trust me, because there's always people who come in, they don't chat, they're just sort of visiting, looking. Oh, listen. It's free real estate. No, really, 25 minutes is going to go by either way, and you're either going to scroll past one more thing or look at one more thing you like, whatever, or you're going to do something that could change the way you relate to the world forever. meditation doesn't always do that, but it can. It has the potential to. So I'm going to recommend people actually meditate for the full 25 minutes, even if it's challenging. The challenges are normal. Everyone has challenges. The mind gets distracted. We get annoyed. We judge our meditation. And beep up is just come on back and ask hey, this is hard. What do I do? I know, because I'm guiding the meditation, I'm managing everything. At some point, I'll look at the people who are here on the stream, and it'll have dropped by like 25% as we start the meditation. So just know that you can do it. You don't have to, but you can. So finding a nice, comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. I'm going to encourage folks to stay entirely still, but if you need to move, you can. Just wait maybe 30 seconds, or do so very slowly. Or if you feel that you're even starting to even hint at something overwhelming, even the hint of it, you want to go ahead and adjust, jiggle the body if you need to, open the eyes, whatever you need to do. I guess you could just leave the stream. Maybe that's why we lose some people now and then. Okay. And at the end, we'll report what our meditation experience was like, and we will begin. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths, just feeling the body rise and fall. Each time we begin a meditation, we begin with the momentum of all of the previous moments. So because we were chatting just a moment ago, the mind is likely moving at that same speed. And part of our job is to train the mind to move at the speed of our current experience, rather than being caught in the previous one. So soaking into the sensations of the body as we feel the body simply breathing in and out. Noticing that the mind may become distracted at times. That's entirely natural. And this is simply because that's what it's used to. So this is the training, staying with the sensation. Distraction arises naturally, and we simply come back. As we physically relax the body, relaxing all of the major muscle groups in the body, seeing if we can go further. Because we can physically relax more than we can physically feel, it's possible to physically let go even more deeply than we might think possible. Letting go so deeply that it feels almost as though we're falling. Letting go all the way down to the level of the bone. We're going to introduce a little bit of doing here. In the mind, we're simply going to begin to say the words, thank you. And we're not intending anything yet. We're just letting the mind speak words without worrying about the meaning, without trying to have it feel any particular way. Seeing how minimally we can whisper in the mind, thank you, thank you, thank you. How little effort can we apply to this phrase without being pulled away? Now we'll begin to apply that phrase, apply the meaning to whatever arises. So at any given moment, some sensory activity will arise, seeing, hearing, feeling. Or perhaps our overall experience of the body, or our overall experience of all of our sensing. And in the mind we simply say, thank you, thank you. And at this stage, we want to mean it. We want to mean thank you. But don't let that pull you into a lot of doing as though we have to think or mean it as hard as we can. In fact, we want to go as subtly as we can, as gently as we can. Thank you. Thank you. Whatever sensation arises, simply directing the phrase, thank you. We can even shape our awareness through this process. We could thank the entirety of the body as a generalized experience, detecting all of the sensations that are arising at this moment and saying, thank you, thank you. In fact, maybe this is the optimal arrangement. The thanks, the gratitude is a kind of large atmosphere, like a cloud around us, a mist. Surrounding us like a golden halo. And whatever arises within that, whatever sense experience, is simply thanked as part of this overall experiencing. In this way, the gratitude rests in a soft, open awareness. Allowing whatever else might arise to occur within it. Thank you. Thank you. And so the game we're playing is very, very simple. Simply softly allowing awareness to be like an encompassing mist all around us. Letting waves of gratitude, very subtle, just permeate that awareness. Letting them contact whatever arises. Thank you. And we start again. Thank you. And start again. Thank you. Part of this game is to be naive, as though we've never thanked before. We don't have a sense of how everything's supposed to be or feel. In fact, we could have gratitude for whatever arises, letting each moment be new, as though we just appeared and are hit with a subtle mist of gratitude. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And if it feels natural or supportive, we could engage in what I like to call the world's most subtle smile. One so subtle that someone looking at us couldn't even tell that there's a difference. As though the invisible muscles in the face just found their way into a smile, even though you couldn't tell from the outside. If this feels unnatural or forced, just let it go. if it does work, notice that this very subtle experience can expand beyond just the face, as though the system, the body itself, were engaging this very subtle uplift. Remembering that the less effort we apply, the more nuance we can notice. Whatever arises, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, letting it be touched by this atmosphere of kindness. This ultimately subtle smile. Thank you. Thank you. Remembering that at times unpleasant experiences arise, and it's natural that we might resist them, discomfort or challenging emotion. We might try to thank these, and it might feel like it's not working. That's fine. We're not trying to change the world, we're just saying thank you. And what we might find is, rather than directing our gratitude towards the discomfort or unease, directing it towards the response, the reaction, the part of us that reads it as unpleasant, the part that doesn't want it to be here, that naturally arises when something comes in which doesn't feel so good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you. If we find there's resistance or judgment or annoyance, assessment of how this is going, it's going wonderfully or it's going terribly, including that, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for showing me this very specific or nuanced experience of being a human. Thank you. Thank you. And of course, at times, the mind will naturally drift. And as it comes back, it may think that this process is layered or complex. A lot needs to happen to regain where we were. And to that thought, we simply say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we may find that after doing this for some time, we can feel as though it's tiring. We've had a long stretch of efforting. So seeing if we can do the same process with less doing, less of a need for the process to occur and simply letting the process occur. How little efforting do we need to apply to have this continue? Perhaps the words become quieter or become silent altogether. Perhaps we trust our awareness to take in and soak whatever arises in gratitude. Perhaps the smile, if we're using this, becomes more and more imperceptible. Perhaps the kernel of this practice is somehow simply embedded in the experience of just breathing in the world, allowing it to be touched by this innate gratitude that we're capable of. No efforting or doing need apply. And taking a moment to recognize that we're doing this practice with others. All of our little struggles and challenges are not ours alone. Feeling this shared process. Thank you. Thank you. Thanking everyone else who is engaged in this activity. recognizing that at this moment you are being thanked in the same way. Noticing that transmitting and receiving gratitude are the same function. It's as though we can simply soak it up without needing to do anything extra. Staying with the practice, staying in stillness, allowing a tiny bit of light to enter the eyes, eventually allowing the eyes to rest on a single point as they fully open, letting this spaciousness of seeing expand the spaciousness of awareness. Allowing the body-mind to continue with this momentum so that this particular moment becomes the great teacher, showing us how we might bring our practice, bring this gratitude into every aspect of our life. Okay. So making any adjustment to allow the body to be comfortable. Stretch it out if you like. And now, using our digital technology, let me know what that experience was like. What happened and what you're like now. That was fun for me. It's I find such a strong practice. There's so many types of practice, so many ways to practice, but it's actually such a simple and powerful practice, I find. Ooh, unfold them. Oh, them gams. We were looking up the history because apparently gams is like an old-timey term for legs, and we're like, what's the origin of that? And someone in our group was looking it up, and it was just funny because there's like two definitions of why gams might have been slang for legs. It's like, one definition is it was a French word that meant corner. I forget what exactly it was, a corner, and then the corner sort of meant like maybe the corner of a table, and then maybe corner of tables could have meant like any part of the table, and then any part of the table could have meant the legs. And it's like blah blah blah. And then the second option is it's Italian for leg, or like the word for leg in Italian is like very, very close. So it's like it's probably the second one. So adjust them gams. Okay. 613 says, paying a little attention to the heart area during it really enhanced the pleasant tingly feeling. Excellent. Lovely. I'm glad to hear that that was useful. It's funny because for me what I find, and this is not to say your experience is any less valid. I've in the past tried to be like, I'm going to pay attention to my heart, and it gets very it either goes like very anatomical, it's just like good, and not like that sort of emotional heart feeling that we might talk about, or it becomes this thing of like basically the mind just thinks. The mind is like, like, what is this thing about like the heart's supposed to be here, and blah blah blah. So, but a lot of people actually get a lot out of sort of the heart area, this sort of attending to this central chest area. It's also the fact that a lot of our emotion, especially a lot of somatically held difficult emotion, can be in the chest area. So bringing a lot of kindness and warmth there can be very transformative. What else, folks? What else came up in your practice? What else in the world? What's going on? What the heck, folks? And P.S. Hit me quick, because I want to. I'm going to need to jump off pretty soon. So hit me with your reports. I want to hear it. I want to know. I want to answer any questions. So hit me. And also any reports on what your holiday was like, given this very weird time that we're in, and a lot of people are practicing alone. And I appreciated at the end the sort of realizing and recognizing that we're doing this together, because it's always this very powerful thing to practice with other people, direct thanks to them, and then realize it's being directed to us at the same time. Very pleasant. Beep up, beep up. Yeah, so tell me, hit me. Okay, excellent. Okay, folks, so I'm sure some people are typing right now, so I'll let you folks drill that in. But for now, I'll let you know that we'll be back here this coming Monday at 11 Eastern. And if you haven't heard it already, I think, where is this thing? There's a link here. I was interviewed by someone I thought was a student, someone I like, and the coincidence is just very high and interesting that I was interviewed by the gentleman who founded this very platform that we're on right now, which is exciting to me, in part because I really like the platform, and in part because he's a very interesting and dynamic person in and of himself. Also, P.S., I looked at the rest of the podcast. Okay, so here's the link, P.S. This is the link to the most recent interview. He has such interesting people that he's interviewed, so it's just like so cool to be part of that, and just as a podcast, just to listen to all these really cool folks that he has interviewed. So there's my interview. He interviewed me about a month ago, and then it just came out, I think, a couple days ago. So check that out. Very fun. You learn about my biography. And actually, I was listening to it, and I listened to just the beginning, and I say that I was raised by my mom and my 4 sisters. I was raised by my mom and my 3 sisters. So there's that. I always think of it because I was raised by 4 women, but my mom was not my sister. Nate says, I liked it, but struggled having so many sensations coming in, and having a hard time with overwhelm with that. And you say, thanking each one. Okay, great. So this is what I would suggest is stick with this practice, but you can thank big sections of them. This is part of why I started with the overall body, because lots of sensations can happen, and we can either, if we're zoomed in using attention, it's like, I have to get this piece and this piece and this piece and this piece, and we're trying to add all these little pieces, versus if we take an overall view, it's just a sort of cloud of stuff. There's plenty of activity happening, which we don't have to zoom into, but we're just saying, like, you can do it now, right? Just a big, like, thank you, omnidirectional, thank you, omnidirectional, and it'll reduce overwhelm in that way. Okay, I'll let the computer read this one because it'll be easier. Here we go. Jean says,
there's a part of me that's always super pleased to welcome in-kind awareness. It's like a happy kid that appreciates some being that doesn't want to judge me. I did have a mean voice say, you're kind of a naive idiot to believe in this kind of awareness stuff. It went away, and then later you mentioned something along those lines. It kind of made me laugh.
That's great. Let's see, Jean says, I channeled the laugh into the subtle smile. Lovely. Yeah, and just know that these are just different parts of us. Some part of us maybe feels scared, or some part of us maybe feels, unsupported by, connecting with kind awareness, or it doesn't like the idea of it, right? And so that's just that part is expressing its need in a way that maybe is a little turbulent towards other parts, but that's natural. We don't have to get rid of the part that's like judging, etc. We just want to get past the judgment, or get past what it's saying. We want to get to what its underlying need is, beyond its sort of like very simple words here. We then have Nick, who says,
found the invisible inside, smiling just what was needed in this moment, felt like adding an appreciation of the experience even while watching this horror movie go by. Still engaging in it but no longer detaching, wishing it away. Like when you remember that you will be alright and can't be touched even while in the full chaos of it, instead of having to wait for the ending credits.
That's great. Yeah, I like the movie metaphor here. Yeah, there is this part of us that feels like one day I'll be settled and meditation will work for me, and at that point I can finally rest and I'll be good at meditation, etc. And we just take that voice and we take the part that's resisting and we take the part that doesn't like, and all of those things that are pushing against reality, and just say, oh, thank you so much, and let the resistance in. And often that's a way to it's like we don't have to accept something that's very unpleasant, but we can accept the fact the system is pushing it away, and that can often be the equanimity of one will spread into the other, which is very powerful. Awesome. Okay, anything else, folks? Anything else? Thank you, folks, for joining us. If you have not followed us, let me tell you right now, terrible mistake, big fat mistake. Definitely hit us up, hit the follow button, hit the follow thing. You'll find out when we go live, and we'll have a good time. We are serious ass meditation for everyone. And I had this thought, this is funny, it came up very early in the meditation. I was like, maybe this is an idea for a format, is we would do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and have it be beginners, intermediate, advanced. I don't know if that's too formulaic, but I thought that might be fun. Some way, because I'm basically trying to figure out how do we incorporate people who are really new and don't know what the hell we're talking about when I say open awareness in this way, or this is what awareness is. They're just like, what is that? So yeah, let's see. Okay, going back here. Good day to all. Nick says, awesome. Speaking of metaphors, I came up with one, and don't ask me how I came up with it. It was a great metaphor. Says Gene, the difference between flatulence in your small office and being flatulent in Madison Square Garden is massive, even if the level of silent deadliness is exactly the same. That is the same as the salt metaphor. Guess it's the exact same as the salt. Exactly. Okay, that's what you say. So the Buddha had a metaphor that a cup of water with a teaspoon of salt in it is undrinkable, whereas that same teaspoon of salt in a lake. This is to what Nate was asking about. That same teaspoon of salt in a lake is undetectable. So we're so zoomed in that it's like very turbulent. And if we can allow the system to take in more, not necessarily try to zoom out, just take in more, that turbulence goes away because there's nothing to grab onto. So yeah, it's like, I won't make that. I was going to say it's like, like Donald Trump in that tiny little desk. It's like when you see the whole room, it's like, oh, that's so strange. But, we don't have to zoom in because that can give us a distorted view. Zen Mind says, on what appearance does the appearance of awareness appear to? That's very interesting. Well, I think something interesting that I've heard someone say, which I thought was great, is that awareness is the only thing that can be aware of awareness, which I thought was interesting. Okay, the movie metaphor. Well, they were both great metaphors. Okay, folks, excellent. So here's what I want to say. Folks, it was delightful, as always, to be here with you, and my wish for you is at this moment, right now, just to feel any of the momentum of the gratitude that we were just developing, even if it's subtle. We don't even have to add anything. We can just notice that momentum occurred. If it doesn't occur, if it's not there, we don't notice it. We can produce a little bit of gratitude. Thank you, just out to the world in general. And know that this is always available. Not only is it available, but it's a very skillful training. It's a way to train the mind to take the world in as something that is worth being grateful for, rather than something that needs to be fought with or frustrating or difficult. And as my dog sits here and paws at my hand, wanting me to pet the dog, I just think about the day and weekend to come and think about what a lovely opportunity to experience gratitude. So thank you so much, folks. Grateful as always to be here with you. As always, practice well, take care of each other, have fun, and we will see you very, very soon.